All right, guys, so what I have here is a squared sketchbook. It's a B Paper Company. It's 9 by 9 inches, 60 sheets, pretty good. It's a lot of sheets. A lot of people think that's a little bit when they're looking at sketchbooks, but it's quite a lot actually. If we're actually putting, some very good work, very detailed, time-consuming work, that 60 sheets, you think about it, you do one good drawing a day, that's a sketchbook for 2 months. So think about it in that way. I like this paper. It's kind of warm. I don't know if that's to do with the neutral pH that it says it is. My other sketchbook is actually pretty white. It's not that white, but it's whiter than this. So that's another thing if you want to get this sketchbook too. It's not that white, but it's not that warm either. And so today we're gonna be drawing this hand here. This is my hand right there. Couldn't really find a good reference, the kind of reference that I was looking for. So I'm just using my own self as my own reference, Sometimes we just gotta remember that you can use your own self as your own reference. And so yeah, today we're gonna be using the HB set of HB pencils, a set of 2B and a 6B pencil here. And I'm just gonna guide you through my way of how I draw, like I said before in another video that I posted on Facebook and Instagram. When I draw, I'm just going from the way that I've learned to draw myself over the years. And there's no particular way that I follow that I can tell you like, oh, I learned this in school, this teacher taught me this, or this instructor, or anything like that. I've just learned to really follow my eye, pay attention to my eye and really dissect and think closely at what I'm looking at, So let's get started here, guys. So what I'm gonna put in here first is just kind of like the two initial points of the thickness of the wrist here. So I'll just plot down a point there, plot down a point here. That's how I think how thick it is. And then instead of just drawing in, I want to make sure that I get everything in proportion here to my page. Obviously the reference image is bigger, so I'm going to shrink that down here on this page. So what I'm going to start to do is not really draw or sketch, but rather plot points, just plot some points. I'm just going to try to get a gauge for where it's really going to fit, how big do I really need to make it, or how small, I should say, do I need to make it. Before I really go in there and draw, because like I said before, I don't really like to erase a lot. I just kind of like to get it right on the first time, as close as I can, and just lightly put in details, kind of like the curve, like the direction of where that point intersects with the other line, where each line goes, kind of like an angle, if you will. So think about it like that too, So I'm plotting the point and then just putting the angles of the direction of where it's going. And that'll just kind of give me an idea of where I'm gonna fit this thing properly. I don't want to start going in there and just start marking stuff everywhere, I want to make sure that I'm not gonna, by making this too big and then making this palm too big and then making the fingers long, I'm gonna be out of my page. I'm gonna be within my margins here, so that when it's all said and done, I'll have something really nice that I can frame. And this is really kind of like my first time drawing a hand. Haven't drawn hands in a while. Can't really remember the last time I drew a hand, to tell you the truth. So there's probably somebody else that can do this a lot better than me. But like I said, my videos aren't about, me being the best artist out there. It's just me being me, with the camera on what I'm drawing. And I have been getting a lot of good feedback, good comments from people, real people that I have drawn for, and that really gives me the confidence to say that, you know what, you don't have to be the best, you don't have to be a teacher, be a professional, because this is a craft in the end, guys. We all have hobbies, we're all into crafts. Some of us like building, Some of us like, you know, sports. You know, there's a million categories of things that, you know, we're all good at as individuals, you know. And me personally, just a bit of a backstory. I'm just drawing this or making these videos because I have a lot of free time on my hands currently at the time. I'm actually living in Mexico right now. I'm here living with my dad in Baja, and just waiting to go back to the States, you know, due to my immigration process. So I'm just trying to make the best of the time that I have here, you know, trying to stay focused, trying to stay positive, and trying to have something good come out of all of this. You know, I don't want to just sit here and let time idly pass me by, you know. I want to make sure that I'm using this to the best of my advantage, because that's the way you have to look at problems in life, you know. How is this problem going to make me, or am I going to make something out of this problem? You know, you have to really see it in that way. So yeah, guys, this is the first video, sort of like, you know, drawing tutorial video that I'm going to be posting on YouTube. And I've been really I didn't know that you needed to have 50 subscribers to go live on YouTube. You know, I just thought it was like Facebook and Instagram. You know, I did a Facebook live video already. I did an Instagram live video, and then I said, hey, you know what? Let me make a live YouTube video, you know, which is also, you know, what a lot of people do. And he said, oh, you need to have 50 subscribers, which obviously I don't have 50 subscribers, but that's what I'm gonna try to use this video for, you know, to kind of get some more followers. So if you guys like this video, you know, I'm not asking for really long-term subscribers and followers right now, because, you know, I'm fairly new here, you know, and I do subscribe to people on YouTube. I'm not gonna lie. You know, YouTube is basically the new TV for everybody. It is for me, you know. And I do follow creators, but creators that I like, you know, creators that I want to follow. But if you could do me a huge favor and just follow me, just so I can reach that, you know, 50 subscriber mark, that would be awesome. I'd really appreciate that, so I can, you know, start making live videos on YouTube, you know. Making live videos on YouTube, man, it's like a rush. I think making any sort of live video is like a rush, you know. It's just, it pushes me to really, you know, make the best work that I can, you know. It's like, you know, you got that fire under your behind, you know, to say like, well, you know, you started, now you have to finish. So that's one thing that I can kind of see positive from posting live on social media or whatever media you use. You know, you want to use it to your advantage, you know. And one of the advantages that I see from posting live on social media is that it just puts that pressure on you, you know. It's like, fuck, you know, there's no going back. There's no going back. You got eyeballs on you. It's like win or lose. It's like kind of like boxing, you know. It's like somebody's gonna lose, you know. It's like, so you got the camera on you, so there's no way that you can back out, and you're only fighting against yourself here. So it's like a learning moment, you know, when you're doing live videos, live feeds, or whatever you call it, live feed. So yeah, guys. So yeah, as you guys saw, when I started sketching this, I didn't just go in right away. I kind of just wanted to make sure that I was gonna go in the right direction, and you know, kind of like in construction, where you have like a plotter come out, a surveyor, you know, to plot points for your boundaries for your building. That's kind of what I wanted to do, you know. I kind of just wanted to gauge how this is gonna fit on the page, you know. I just wanted to see that if from here to here is this long, from here to here is this long, and usually from this base point, you know, the rest of the fingers are gonna be this long. So then right from there, I knew right off the bat, yeah, it's gonna fit. There's no way that from here, this finger or this finger is gonna go all the way down here, you know. So I immediately saw that, and I realized that, and I said, hey, you know, it's gonna fit. Just go ahead and start putting those lines in there. And so the lines that I'm putting in there are really light. You know, they're really light, which is the way I like to do it. And once I really have the rest of it done here, That's just gonna give me more confidence to go in there and really put in those darker lines, really put those creases in there, and really make it look like, you know, like a stamp almost, you know. That's what I want to do. Like I said, I normally don't erase that much. On this one, you have seen me erasing a little bit more just because I haven't drawn hands in a little bit. You know, it shouldn't be any different than drawing anything else, you know, just because you're used to drawing. But it's been a while, you know, and my brain still wants to draw. I'm training my brain to not pay attention to what it sees, you know. That's kind of what drawing is also a part of. You want to train your brain to not immediately fall for what it is that you see, because your brain will trick you and it won't let you really focus on the fact that you're drawing two-dimensional lines on a flat paper, you know, and your brain thinks like you kind of want to draw like in curves, you know, like you want to like in volume. And sometimes that can really, you know, keep people from progressing in their artwork. They really can't, you know, disconnect from that part of their brain that's, you know, wanting them to draw like volume, you know. We add volume here on our drawing with our two-dimensional lines. So we're making a three-dimensional object appear with two-dimensional lines. So just think about it like that. There's a good exercise that I used to do. This I did learn in school during art class back in like middle school, where you actually just draw a portrait, any image that you want, upside down. So pick an image, a reference image, and then just draw it, you know, but flip the page upside down, you know. This hand, you know, we're so used to seeing hands all the times. That's another thing that makes it hard to do, that we're so used to seeing some things all the time and throughout our daily lives, that even when you flip it upside down, it's like you still see it like you normally would, you know. So it makes it a little bit harder to draw. But as an exercise, things that aren't so common, you know, if you can print it out and then just I guess print it out at home or whatever, and then just flip it upside down, and that'll really just make you focus on the lines instead of the figure, you know. You really pay attention that that's not like the curved line of a finger. That's just like a flat two-dimensional line, you know. Don't think finger, don't think skin, don't think roundness, think line, you know. That really helps open up your drawing capabilities a lot, you know. How do you separate that part of your brain that wants to draw things, how they normally appear in real life, you know, but that also makes you make mistakes when you're drawing. One of the things here that kind of throws me off a little bit too as well is the fact that, you know, I've got my little setup here, my phone apparatus or whatever you call it, tripod, in front of me. So I kind of have to squat down and look at my reference image, and just trying to work around it. It makes it a little bit more difficult. So again, just by looking at that one's a little bit too far down. So I'm using this line here as a reference to where this one goes.
Look around, man. See what I see? I see money. Look at my man over there selling t-shirts. Brother over there selling pies and paper. Cake man over there. Everybody moving, making money, right? While we standing still. All
right, guys. So I'm just gonna stop for right now and just, you know, look at my reference image and just compare proportions. You know, I want to compare all these base points, you know, these boundaries, I should say. You know, like for example, this right here, I have a ruler here. I want to make sure that where does this point land, you know, according to everything else. Same thing for here, you know, this part too, you know, where your fingers web together, Does it line up with that? So I'll start doing that with my reference image, just looking at it, and I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not going to put my ruler up to my computer screen. I'm just I'm trusting my sight, my own sight. If I have to close one eye, I will. If I have to use my pencil, I will too. But I really try to keep it as natural as possible. That's where, your confidence really comes into play, So right now I'm just comparing, points here and there. And like I said, it's not going to be perfect. We're not tracing here. If we were tracing, there would be no point in this exercise. You could just trace anything. But if you're really into art and you really want to become good, and like me, the idea for this reference, for this project, I should say, I was actually, I was just sitting in church on Sunday, I was in mass, and the priest, he was just saying, sharing a story about how when Jesus was resurrected, he went to his apostles and he presented himself like, here I am, here I am. And one of his apostles wouldn't believe that it was him. He wouldn't believe that it was him. How could it be him? He needed proof. He wanted to see some proof. He asked Jesus, let me see the holes in your hands from where the nails punctured you, to the cross where you were crucified. And then to which Jesus replied, my friends, some of you only believe until you see. You don't see with your hearts. You don't believe with your hearts. You only believe what you see. And, that kind of I really reflected with that, or on that, I should say. And I thought it was a really cool idea. I'm like, well, wouldn't it be really cool if I could just draw like some hands with like, the holes in the middle, like kind of like Jesus' hand when he was crucified, as two drawings, and then just like hang them on the wall, like, I'm like, I was really inspired. So those are the kind of ideas that I want to draw. And if you want to draw really well, you just got to learn to trust yourself, and draw like how they used to in the past, during the Renaissance or anything like that. I think that really helps you draw better when you have ideas, your creativity comes into play. You just become more confident to draw what you're really thinking of. And a lot of people get kind of like disappointed when they can't draw what they're thinking of, or they'll try to sketch something out and it's just not coming out, and it's not coming out. But they have this idea in their head and they can't put it on paper, So when that happens, normally I just take it as a homework assignment, and I'll just try to draw stuff that will help me become good at that thing that I can't draw, or figure out what I'm missing. What is it that I can learn to just help me draw that one bit that I couldn't get down right? What can I learn to help me shade better so I can get that look that I was thinking of? What references, what part of nature, what animals can I study more? It's just like homework, but instead of taking 7 different subjects, you're taking 7 different subjects in the same thing, Drawing is also about memorizing shapes, seeing in planes, shading, doing lines. There's so much that goes into art, and you need to know a lot, so that you can put your ideas down on paper, especially if you really want to be an artist, a serious artist, a professional artist or something like that. I mean, some people that I know that are really good at drawing, they have no intentions to become good at, or like a professional, They just want to just draw for the fun of it, and they're really good. They're probably better than me, but I took a lot of time off from drawing in the past, had my own career, and now I'm using this time here that I'm waiting here in Mexico, in Baja California, to just jump back into it, and it's almost like riding a bike. Once you learn, you don't forget, but let's pretend like you knew how to do tricks. If you're like a skater and you're kind of out of shape, not only will you have to get back into shape, but you also have to remember how those tricks go, and practice landing them, but as far as drawing goes, I don't have to get into shape physically or anything like that. I'm just gonna have to get back into it, and it's muscle memory, it's muscle memory, it's brain memory. It's a little bit more in that line of work. So yeah, while I was going on and on, I was just comparing this to the original, and honestly, like, I like where it's at. I didn't see too many faults in it. It looks good, you know. If you didn't have the reference image, oh yeah, man, that looks like a hand to me. It looks natural. It looks normal. Everybody's hand is different, you know. No hand's perfect. Pretty sure if you take a picture of your hand, it looks a lot different than mine. So just really quick, I'll show you the drawing, and I'll show you the reference again. So that's my own hand. That's my right hand upside down, and this is the hand right here. So, I mean, I'm pretty good with that. You know, I was looking at reference points, trying to make sure that everything looks where it's supposed to be, and honestly, I like it. Obviously, I didn't include the ring. And as far as the hole goes, I'm not sure how I'm gonna make that look. I've never seen, you know, something go through a hand all the way. So I'm not sure how big I'm gonna make it, but honestly, that might be the first thing I want to put in here. So I'm thinking it would probably go somewhere like right here. Not directly in the middle of the hand, but probably like more like right here. Kind of like when I press on it. And so like it would be. So here's that other line that comes down here. I'm gonna put it right here. Yeah, I think that's good. On how big would I make it? I mean, what kind of nails did they use back in the day? I think it was like those rectangular nails that, you know, kind of big. Kind of make it look like a square almost. And then let's see here. So let's not make that too dark. Just make it look like the back part of the hand, or the top part, I should say, is kind of like a cone. So it's kind of like this. So we're looking at the top of the. So we're looking at. Let's say this is the palm of the hand, right? And so this is like a hole in the hand. So something like that, in a way where this is shaded and this is shaded and that's it, to make it look like it has depth, because obviously this has depth to it. So you don't want to just make a hole, you know. You want to put another hole in there to make it look like, you know, something deeper in there. So, but what that looks like in reality, I really have no idea. Probably should have looked for that as a reference as well. Don't have a lot of tries to do this because, as you can see, you can't really see there, but you know, if you erase too much and then later on it's harder and harder to erase it. You can already see that it's still there even though I already erased it. So kind of want to get that done as soon as I can and not having to redraw and redraw. But as I was drawing that, it was looking like it was too small still. So, and I didn't really like the location of it. I'm gonna put it like right here. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. So I'm just gonna draw like the outside circle of it like this, like that. And then let's just say that it's about kind of, let's pretend we're looking at it at an angle like this. So it wouldn't be like if this was like a, I don't know, like a disc, right? And the hole's right here, you know, it's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be, if we're looking at it from the angle, the other hole would be like that. So it's not perfectly centered. Put it like right here. Yeah, that's good. And then as far as like the meaty part of it and the bony part, I don't know, I guess we'll, let's see here. I want to make this look real. Just gonna look up a quick reference. Let's look up hand anatomy. Okay, so all right, guys. So just really fast, I found. Oh, here you go. I found this hand here, so I'm gonna kind of use that as a guide to help me fill in what's in that part of the hand. So let's see here. So around that area, you've got. So let's pretend it hit part of one of the bones, because you got a lot of bones here. We'll just draw that like that right there, kind of like it's protruding a little bit. And then this one will kind of draw like fractured or something like that. And then I'll just draw like something like this to make it look like muscle. And then we'll just shape that as we see fit. You know, we'll just have to use our imagination, but kind of like muscle fibers in a way. I think that's good. And then as far as the skin of the palm, I mean, once we shade it, you know, we won't shade it right up to the edge, so that we make it look like, you know, it's kind of like a little bit raised, kind of like, you know, like a chamfer in a way or something like that. I think that's the right word. All right, so yeah, that's the rough sketch of the hand. And as we're sketching, what I'm actually gonna do first is I'm gonna fill in this background really quick. Let's see, what should I use? I'm gonna use a charcoal pencil. I really don't want to use a charcoal pencil because it's gonna get really dusty with charcoal. So, I think I'm just gonna charcoal this area first, and then just shade everything, and then charcoal the rest. Yeah, let's do that. So, let's see here, got white charcoal. I got some charcoal sticks that I'm looking for here. Here we go, charcoal sticks. All right, got the charcoal sticks here. And then I'm gonna use a piece of paper, you know, just to keep the rest of the drawing clean. Let's see what I got here. Ooh, that's really black. I think they're all the same, probably. Let me see. Just let me check out what it's gonna look like next to the, because this is charcoal and I don't really like mixing charcoal with graphite. I'm not gonna put, obviously, graphite over that, but side by side, let's pretend, you know, I might go and use I'm just trying to pretend that's the finger there. Yeah, I'm not really liking that. The contrast between the charcoal and the pencil. Yeah, I'm not gonna use charcoal. Not a good choice. I'll probably just pencil it in. All right, so let's just begin then. Go back to the reference image. All right, so start putting in. We're gonna start like, and then when I shade, I always start, you know, from left to right because I'm right-handed. So I want to start moving away from where I'm already gonna draw. So that way, if I start here, I don't want to go over it with my hand. You know, I'm just gonna stamp it all over and make your page look really dirty. So, you know, and if you know you're serious about drawing, you know, you gotta get yourself good paper. You gotta get yourself quality drawing paper, and get yourself a sketchbook paper. You know, this is just like copy paper almost. You know, this is just for like sketch, for like scratch, whatever. You know, and then I always go back and I do good work on my good quality paper, and then I'll, you know, cut it out nicely and possibly frame it, possibly sell it. You know, you always want to have good quality paper. That's how you're gonna show yourself some respect to your